Gentlemen, what's going on, man? I had to make sure we were on Roku. We're on Roku, man. We're on Roku and Amazon.
Oh, yeah, we are on the Amazon.
Yeah, man.
I'm firing up the pre-football game. What they got going on
tonight?
Great game tonight. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got Rams Cards.
There's plenty of countdown.
Yeah, so Rams are suffering for a little bit of COVID, man. Having a little issues with COVID going on, and yeah, I mean it's gonna be it's tough. I get the Cards and under in this game.
I didn't see a line, but you talking about them suffering from COVID. Man, I was going through, look at some stuff. The Bulls are having 2 games postponed for COVID.
Pistons and Raptors.
Calgary Flames are having 3 games postponed by COVID. Washington today, they said that they've got a bunch of players entering COVID protocol. I think this is something that all the major sports had kind of thought was going to be done, but man, it's still rearing its ugly head.
Can I be a little controversial though?
Well, before that, to Sam's point, Greg actually posted a video on our YouTube channel about that earlier today, about the impacts of COVID with these sports teams. Go check it out. 10-11-minute video, ain't going to take you long, but
yeah,
really, really touches on that stuff in detail you're going to appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, Blake, what do you think, man? I mean, look, Michael Jordan's known for the flu game, having the flu. I mean, the flu and COVID for healthy athletes are one, basically the risk is the same. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to get political here, but it's the same. And, are we going to start canceling every freaking game that, somebody catches COVID now? I mean, are we having to do that?
Well, I've had COVID.
Me too.
Did have bad headaches, and I lost my sense of taste for 2 months, and I just don't wish that on anyone. So yeah, I guess so. I mean, not being able to taste food for 2 months, my wife was feeding me kale and stuff, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. No one deserves that. Okay.
No. Well, but hey, you didn't have to taste it, so you call it a win. But I mean, that's kind of why last year they did the thing with putting the NBA. The NBA didn't play in the bubble last year. They finished off the year before.
No, it was last year.
So they did last year in the bubble.
No,
okay.
it was 2 years, right? It was when LeBron got his championship because it was a bubble championship.
Oh yeah, it was. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and hockey did some weird stuff, and NBA and Major League Baseball playing without fans. It just hasn't seemed right. But I mean, when is the sports world going to say there's no getting around this? When is the world going to say there's just no getting around it?
Correct.
Protect yourself. We know how to protect ourselves. And when we've got all the different things out there to try to protect ourselves, use it or don't. It's your choice. And now,
I think there is some level of responsibility on the organizations to say, we have had this many cases, but in terms of having the games postponed, I think in the culture we're in and the way that it is right now, right? Like restaurants have it mask optional, I still go places where people wear a mask in the grocery store. I have people that don't, and I guess what is the fans' liability and all of that? If you're going to a sporting event, you're probably exposing yourself. Does the game need to be postponed because of that, or are they postponing it because it is a how do you say it? Like an athletic disadvantage, or a fair competition disadvantage because your players have it.
Yeah,
and you're not allowing them to play. That makes the game quality suffer. But in the NBA, I really don't understand it because star players can sit games they choose anyways, right?
Of course. So, guys, yeah, not to change the subject here, but we'll talk about the NFL and all that stuff. But how about we start with something really fun? Cool. You all ready for this?
All right.
This is gonna be a first on Motion Sports. Actually, first,
okay.
I can say pretty much in any show that I've ever seen. But how are y'all ready for the bowl season this year?
I'm It's going to
Well,
come.
let's get ready. Let's get ready. Here we go. Here's what we're gonna do. I got the bowls right here, guys. We're gonna go through these bowl games and pick them.
We sent this out to everybody. You sent this out to all the contributors and editors and everything.
We're gonna get this on record.
So
and,
did you? You know, I went and put one in. I didn't know where we were going to see it at. So
no, we're gonna do it right now, guys, and have a little.
right,
let these guys comment and let's pick them, man, and talk about these games. Right out of the chute, man. The Bahamas Bowl, in the Bahamas. Middle Tennessee versus Toledo. Blake, who you got?
Man, I've just being from Texas, I have to go with the closer proximity. So I'm going to go Toledo. It's Toledo in a landslide.
That's completely sound reasoning.
Thank you. I mean, we see that all the time, right?
Right.
Daniel Higgins has Middle Tennessee. Keep commenting, Daniel. I love it. We'll hear your picks as well.
Jump over to you.
I've got Toledo as well.
I'm going to go with Toledo there for no other reason than Toledo's easier to spell than Tennessee.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
right.
Daniel, you are the lone man out here, so
yeah. All right. And then Cure Bowl, we've got Northern Illinois versus Coastal Carolina. Give me Coastal Carolina all day long.
Coastal Carolina, yeah.
It's not. This one's not close for me. Just looking at even athletes they churn out into the system, Coastal Carolina just generally has better quality athletes, so I'm taking them.
100%. Yeah. So that's a sweep across the board. Western Kentucky versus App State. Actually, you know what, man? I know this sounds ridiculous. You know, everybody's looking at App State saying that they're. You know,
Daniel, are you just going to be the contrarian all night long? He goes Northern Illinois. Look at that.
All right, we're keeping an eye on you, Daniel.
Yeah,
we got you. I had picked App State in this, but there's like this sentimental thing right now going on, and the damage that was done through the tornadoes. I think Western Kentucky is going to get up, rise up, represent Western Kentucky as a whole, and I think they could beat App State.
That is a very good point. That's overlooked sometimes, some places. I was thinking Apps. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna take Appalachian State. I'm not gonna let my heart bleed. I'm gonna go Appalachian State. Cold-hearted.
Yeah,
you are
cold-hearted. Love your ESPN narrative there, but for the rest of us in reality, it's Appalachian State. Everybody.
I got you, man.
Wait. What did I? Your Appalachian? Is that what you said, Blake?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't care for that ESPN narrative about.
Yeah, he doesn't like.
It's Blake. It's not ESPN narrative. It's right there. It's that blue WV. It's Appalachian. All right.
Listen,
when you're from there, you know how to say there.
Sam, you gotta listen to everything I say.
Listen, he just crushed my Tom Rinaldi bit there, man. He just crushed it. I mean, he's like, you know, man, I ain't crying. I ain't gonna care about this. Look, man, screw those people. You know, that lost their lives in the tornado, and all those people in Western Kentucky. We can care less about you. We're not sending any help. Appalachian State's going to come out and just beating you down.
No, Brooke came.
That's what Blake said.
Saw it this morning and was like so upset about it. She came in my office, was like, "Can we talk?" And I was like, "Oh no, what is this?" And she was like, "Hey, I was looking at like some relief funds for this, that, and the other. Can we do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" So yeah, that's great, man. All right, UTEP versus Fresno State. Man, I tell you what, Fresno State is a very impressive team, man. Okay.
But UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, New Mexico Bowl. Blake.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this one's real easy for me, and because I'm the linear thinker here and I only go by stats, we had David Carr on the Texans and wasted a first-round pick on him, so screw Fresno State. We're going UTEP, baby.
UTEP.
I like it. Sam.
I'm pretty good with my geography, and I think that El Paso is right next to New Mexico.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's basically a home game for UTEP. I'm going to take UTEP there.
Okay. I'm going. I'm going to go Fresno State, man. I just like that team, man. You know, pulled out the David Carr on them, but I do like Fresno State. BYU, UAB. I think this is a very disrespectful game for BYU.
Really?
I do. BYU deserves a better opponent than UAB.
They probably do.
This is at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana.
And the Independence Bowl. This is one of those bowl games that I remember from like way back. I know your pool and weed eater bowls and things like that are always all newcomers. But this Independence Bowl, this bowl has been around for a good long time.
So has the stadium. Have you ever been to the stadium here? It looks like it looks like the ruins of Rome.
Isn't that what most of Louisiana looks like?
Pretty much.
If it's not swamp, it's falling apart, right?
Took a shot at Louisiana.
Yeah, so hey, I'm as I'm saying that, I'm sitting here going through KFLfishing.com trying to determine what team I'm going to be picking that I'm rooting for. And Louisiana, they were pretty much one of the first ones I kicked off the boat. Hurricanes.
Yeah.
You can't, as I'm picking my team in the KFL, you can't steal a name from another team, and you can't steal a name from a terrible team like the Carolina Hurricanes.
Daniel says Southern Slayers, man. Daniel, I don't know if you've been listening. I mean, I know this is not a KFL thing, but I don't know if you've been listening. That was my pick to win the South. They were my pick to win the South, the Southern Slayers. No joke.
Yeah, another Tom Rinaldi. We all know it's going to be the big.
Am I missing something that I'm not seeing the Slayers here?
They're there.
It's in the KFL show. So UAB.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Can we even name what their mascot is? What is
Dragons?
No, it's
Dragons.
Not Dragons.
You nailed it, dude.
Is it Dragons?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But they shut their football season down like 3 years ago, right? And then there was such an uproar, and then they came back.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, I saw the Book of Mormon. I loved it, and BYU gets my vote for that. I'm just keeping linear here, man.
BYU is just way too good of a team. There's no real jokes to make, but BYU is just going to walk up and down on UAB.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Eastern Michigan Liberty, man. One of my favorite teams is Liberty. I mean, I love it. I love them. I think they're a great team. Hugh Freeze is the coach. Malik Willis is the quarterback. Faded. He was in the Heisman talk early. Completely crapped the bed at the end of the year. I don't know if he was hurt or whatever, but I mean, Eastern Michigan actually played pretty good ball this year. But they're at the Lending Tree Bowl in Alabama. Blake, who do you have, man?
College football, unlike any other sport, just seems, or any other level of football anyways, when you have a quote-unquote Heisman level candidate at the quarterback position, that's too much power for me. I can't see Liberty losing this game. I gotta go Liberty, man.
Well, it's Daniel, it's Blake, it's Greg, it's me, and it's God on the side of Liberty Flames.
And Jerry Fowler, man.
Jerry Fowler. Hey, that's where my daughter's going to school. She's started Liberty's online program.
Yeah, Jerry Fowler.
And so far when I know the school, like the school, we've had a bunch of fun watching their games. Her and I this season.
Okay, Blake.
So Flames.
Oh, I was getting ready to say, what's their mascot's name? It's the Flames. It's the Flames. Yeah. Utah State and Oregon State in the LA Bowl. The LA Bowl. You know what that is? You know what that means? The LA Bowl.
We need people to be looking at us. No one cares about Los Angeles enough.
No, you know what that means is they couldn't find a sponsor for this game. They named it after the city.
When you're talking about a game I don't really want to even watch, it might be this one. That's a rough. It's a bowl committee's got to get their act together on this one. That being said, I'm an eager beaver, man. We got Buc-ee's down here in Texas. I'm going Oregon State.
Oh man, Buc-ee's.
This is a prime time ABC game. It's a Saturday night. Thank goodness.
It's on ABC.
Los Angeles. Oh, jeez. Utah State, just because I have no idea that Utah State had a football team.
Yeah, I am picking Utah State. They're actually a really good team, and you know what? Utah State has been a really, really good team on the road, man. So, I'm actually fairly impressed with them. All right, let's move this up. We're going to go to right here. All right, Marshall and Louisiana, guys. Marshall and Louisiana. Louisiana has been unbelievable this year.
Oh yeah,
They just lost their coach though.
that's a weird thing. That's a weird thing as you get to bowl
I think to
season.
Florida, right? Did they lose their coach to
I
Florida?
think yeah, he went to Florida. As you know, you can look at every game, and some of these games with Louisiana and Marshall playing each other, that these teams have stuff to play for. Sometimes more than your ACC, SEC teams that are going to get stuck in a lower level bowl. Like we'll talk about the Union Home Gasparilla Bowl here in a second for you SEC fans. But you know, when you get these middle tier teams, this is their chance to shine, and this is how they're going to get some guys to come to their school. And man, Louisiana has just been on a tear all year. Like they're 12-1, but I won't be allowed back in to the state if I don't pick Marshall.
Okay, very good, Marshall.
Yeah, Greg and I talked about earlier. My favorite NFL player all time is Randy Moss. The gutsiest performance I've seen is the literally broken ankle Byron Leftwich getting carried down the field. It's Marshall, man. I can't. Sentimentality will not allow me to pick against them. So,
and you want to throw some more tugging at the heartstrings on there. Maryland, gosh, not Maryland. Wow, big slip of the tongue there. Marshall losing their entire football team.
Yep.
As well, and it was a tragedy for the entire. I wasn't alive, of course, but it was a tragedy for the
70s,
early 70s too. It happened before me, but you know, and it's that kind of stuff that town and the state of West Virginia is a West Virginia state. That's everybody roots for them except for this little section carved out down on the western side where they root for Marshall. But any Mountaineer is going to root for Marshall anytime they take the field, unless it's against West Virginia. So yeah, Marshall for sure.
Well, look, being with the KFL and pissing off every West Virginia person out there because of the trash talking I did. I'm never allowed back in that state ever again without my COVID passport and a gun. But I'm going Louisiana, man. Screw Marshall. The heck with them. Going Louisiana all the way. All right, Tulsa, Old Dominion. Speaking of tugging at in-state heartstrings, man, ODU, man, the home of Tyler Haneke.
Yeah.
Exactly, the quarterback of the Washington Redskins.
The 6-6 versus the 6-6. I'll stay with the in-state Old Dominion Monarchs.
Mediocrity Bowl. You're going Monarchs.
Daniel, that's a good point. That Daniel, I mean, Tulsa has played some great games this season, but you know, I'm going to stick with Old Dominion though.
Okay. Not when you're in a bowl game and it's like you said, for these middle tier teams, man, this is their national championship, man. This is their chance to shine. Tulsa plays teams tough, out of conference, in conference, and when you're close in these games, I think that matters a whole lot, and I give Tulsa the edge for that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got Tulsa as well, man. I mean, Tulsa, you know, I don't think their record depicts really how good they really were, man. I really don't. They
took Oklahoma down to the wire.
They did exactly.
Everybody did. Oklahoma's trash. Let's not. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was Tulane.
Tulane. Why do I always confuse Tulane and Tulsa?
Yeah, it was Tulane.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but anyway, all right. Kent State and Wyoming. Wyoming. Does anyone know the current NFL quarterback that came from Wyoming?
Josh Allen.
That's exactly it, man. Tough blood there. Tough blood. Yeah, Kent State and Wyoming. I'm gonna start. I got Wyoming. Kent State actually had a real decent season, but I like the toughness of Wyoming, man. Those boys are country strong, and they're playing in the Idaho Potato Bowl.
Yeah, that's another one. That one's going to be basically a home game for Wyoming. I'm gonna take Wyoming as well.
Yeah, home game for Wyoming, and again, like how we talk about in the NFL, like, oh, when it's playoff time, you need to play good defense and run the ball. In bowl season, you need to play tough mouth defense and run the ball. And like I said, these knockout dragout games, man, you got to go with them country strong boys. So
100%.
I'm taking
Now,
Wyoming.
I think Kent State's a MAC team from Ohio. Is that correct, Sam?
Yep. Okay. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not even going to be close to like the physicality as Wyoming. So,
No.
Yeah, that's where LeBron's from. So, they're soft. All right.
100% true. 100%.
Ain't no LeBron love coming out of this show.
Yeah, I mean, super soft. You know what I mean? All right, UTSA. Speaking of Texas, this is the Frisco Bowl out of Frisco, Texas. UTSA. That is the University of Texas, San Antonio,
which was the Roadrunners, baby,
who were undefeated until the last week of the season. They lost. San Diego State 11-2. Man, San Diego State. I love this team. Love this team. And I'm going to go SDS, San Diego State.
If this one's going to be a good game.
This is going to be a real good game.
Everybody knows the Penn States and the Floridas and the Oregons and those teams that they want to watch. But watch this game. These two teams, it's going to be a great game. I'm going to take. I'm going to go San Diego State here too.
Well, I'm from Texas, so you know who I'm picking. But I went to school in San Marcos. I'm a Texas State Bobcat, and when we were there, right down the road from us is UTSA down there in San Antonio, and they ended up hiring Larry Coker. I don't know if you know who Larry Coker is.
The name rings a bell.
Oh yeah,
you might remember he was Miami head coach. He was
baller Miami team.
Miami head coach, right?
The baller Miami teams. Those 2000s Willis McGahee.
Aren't you impressed I pulled that out of my hat?
I am. And
I know a little bit
when he got there, UTSA started getting good and getting these really great athletes. And man, I'm gonna bet on that the Texas, I guess, second tier athletes versus California's second tier athletes. So yeah, I'm going UTSA, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Doing it.
That'd be a heck of a game. The second tier California All-Stars versus second tier Texas All-Stars.
That's what we have in this game, man.
That's
this game.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of Texas, right in your backyard, the Fort Worth, Texas here, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Army versus Missouri. Army's in there at 8-3, just lost a tough game against Army Navy, taking on an SEC team, an average SEC team, Missouri. So who do you got?
To a 3-8 Navy team, who I guess is now 4-8.
Yes,
that was a tough loss for Army, man.
That was brutal.
Brutal. But that's one of those games where you never look at the records between Army and Navy. It's all heart when those teams get together there. I'm going to take Army. I want to see somebody put a spank on an SEC team like an Army. And so maybe this luster of the SEC and ESPN's love of the SEC can start to get knocked down a peg or two.
I have a question for Daniel. Daniel can comment on this. He's a retired Marine. First of all, thank you for your service, brother. But I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the Citadel suck so bad at football, but they're really good at basketball every year? Explain that to me. I mean, every year they suck at football. Well, you would think Marines being tough and, like whipping everybody's butt on the field, they can't touch anybody. And then basketball, they're decent. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, if you could answer that in your comments, that'd be fantastic. All right. Anyway, picks. I got Missouri here, guys.
I got Army. If you got me down there, Greg. Blake, who'd you take?
I am taking Missouri, but I got to say this because Sam brought it up. College football is one of the weirdest sports we evaluate, right? Because we have recruiting classes. And recruiting classes are so much different than drafts. So, like, when you're being recruited into the SEC conference or Big Ten conference or whatever it is, it adds prestige to these teams that don't have to earn it on the field because we do preseason rankings, right? That's what the NFL doesn't have. We don't have preseason rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
correct.
We might have like top 10, but there is an AP poll in college football. And so when these experts are asked, evaluate this team next year, you haven't seen play, they look at their recruiting classes. And I don't know how you knock that down, man. How do you knock down that favoritism of recruiting classes? When you are Texas and you have been you've been a dog in the Big 12 for 10 years, but you get 10 5-star recruits every year. How can they stop putting you in the top 25 every preseason? Like, I just don't know.
I'll tell you my thoughts on that, and it's not so much. I don't think it's recruiting is one of the things that they're looking at, but when your preseason top 25 comes out, you have to put out a preseason top 25. If it was up to me, there would be no college football rankings until after the first week of the season. Then we know what teams are and who they are and how they play, and then we can rank them. But you have to put that number in front of a team so that people know to tune in at to the college football kickoff bowl when we have number 18 playing number 7. That's all people look at, and that's going to be used to drive ratings more so than a talent evaluating.
I cannot do that week 1, man, because Alabama is playing Central Eastern North Institution of Technological Arts, and they're going to blow them out 87-0. And then what do you give Bama after that game? It's like, I need week 6. I need some conference games mixed in. I need strength of schedule mixed in. I mean, I need some serious body of work before I want to see any rankings in that.
What about preseason? Were they preseason number 3 Clemson, who showed the world that they did not deserve to be a number 3 as the season went on. I think that you're right that you do need to really get to see a body of work, and if you lose in week 6 versus losing in week 2, well, if you lost in week 2, you can start climbing again versus losing in week 6 or 8 or however you want it to be. There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be.
I have sort of an idea. It only makes sense in my head, unfortunately. But I have a better way to rank teams. And just let me give you a real quick overview. I mean, we're throwing Greg's college football picking thing off here, but you
I'm typing up my next Tom Rinaldi piece. So don't worry about
all right. You're only teams are ranked.
Sam, I'm
1
not
to
sure
25.
anyone's condemning the show for being organic. When we get on something good, you just talk about it, man.
Yeah. I mean, so
this is not in the show notes.
you're only. Wait, we have show notes? I need to get on this email list. So you rank teams 1 to 25. And then you can even take hold on. That's just
Sam. We're saving this for another show. It's too big.
Yeah. This will be a great off season, and maybe I can finally start to put it together. I've got some notes on it somewhere, and I'll write some of it down and shoot it off to everybody, just so some people can start to get an idea. What the heck do I? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck figuring out what I wrote.
Sit down for hours and discuss how we rank college football teams. We'll hear your thesis out. Greg's Tom Rinaldi piece comes in. We're all in tears. We start ranking teams based on emotions. That being said, Greg, what's the next matchup?
The next matchup, man. All right. So
we're
Blake,
staying in Texas.
So Blake, you had Army right there, right?
Absolutely not. I got Missouri.
Oh, you got Missouri. Okay. All right.
This show.
All right, Miami of Ohio versus North Texas. North Texas.
Woo!
In Texas. Frisco, Texas.
Yep, exactly. In the Frisco Classic Bowl in Frisco, Texas, man.
Oh, in Frisco. Ooh, that's like 50 minutes for me.
Yeah, man.
This is another we can't get a sponsor for our bowl game.
Yes, that's exactly right. The Frisco, it's Miami of Ohio versus North Texas, man. So, I mean, it is what it is. Two teams that are both 6-6. I mean, this is a coin flip, dude. I have no idea. Who you guys have?
Miami of Ohio, I'm pretty sure produced Ben Roethlisberger, who I despise, and North Texas is in Texas, so we're going go big green, North Texas, man.
Okay.
I wanted to go with North Texas just because I wanted to get to root with Blake on something, but then he told me that Roethlisberger reminded me that Roethlisberger came from Miami, so I'm 100% behind North Texas in this.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna go.
Steelers fan? I thought you were a Redskins fan.
No. Actually, I do not have an NFL team that I root for.
Yeah. Well, you used to root for the Raiders. You used to be a Raiders fan.
Oh
no, I have never honestly had a favorite NFL team. Go. I wrote a piece about it at motionsports.com there, Blake. Go back and read it. I read it. It's very strange how I don't have a connection with any NFL team that pulls at my where I live or die with them winning or losing.
You were also a big baseball guy. I mean, you were.
I was way bigger of a baseball fan.
I am too, man. I'm from Houston. If you're raised in Houston, you're an Astros guy. Like it doesn't matter how good or how bad the Oilers or Rockets were at the time. It doesn't matter because the Astros are the team. So I understand that.
All right, so guys, I have
Greg,
North Texas. North Texas. I've got North Texas as well. And
even Daniel's on board with us for
Daniel's
North
got North Texas, man. That's a 4-man sweep, dude. I don't know what to say.
I think that's the only. It's been this game and the Liberty game.
So I'm 100% going to bet right now Miami of Ohio.
Right.
I mean, so anyway, all right. We got actually, this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup, man. The Union home. Was it Gasparilla Bowl? What the heck is that?
Gasparilla. I mean, the only thing I can think of Gasparilla would be sarsaparilla, but I'm pretty sure those aren't the same things.
I don't know. But anyway, it's Florida versus UCF, University of Central Florida. The paper national champs a couple years ago that were undefeated, that they called themselves a national champion. But Florida.
The Scott Frost team?
The Scott Frost team, exactly.
Yeah.
And UCF, man. I mean, honestly, look, anytime an SEC team is taking on a inferior opponent, I'm going to go with the SEC team. So I'm going to go Florida here, even though they're just dog crap.
I'm going to go against you there and take Central Florida because I think when these teams get a shot at your bigger name SEC teams in bowl games, that they really want to knock them off. And you think Florida cares that they're playing at the Gasparilla Bowl?
No.
The only team with anything to win in this game is Central Florida.
Well, let me say that. Let me stop you there. Actually, I do, because you got to remember we just talked about Louisiana's coach going to.
Yeah, Dana's a funny dude.
Yeah, I like this guy. But anyway, like I said, man, I mean, you've got this new coach going into Louisiana. I mean, he doesn't want to start on the wrong foot, man. I mean, I think he's going to be coaching this game. So you've got to Is
he coaching this game?
I think so. I think he's gone. I think he's Louisiana and gone, man. I don't think he's coaching Louisiana.
I first of all want to point out that as much as Greg hates SEC bias, he just had SEC bias hardcore.
I am. Listen, I am despising the SEC in terms of the SEC bias, but you've got to look at reality. The SEC against an inferior opponent like this, you've got to go SEC football.
They recruit great athletes. In if we're going to act like athleticism doesn't matter in football, then
it matters.
It matters.
Yeah,
it matters. Yo, my boy
Jim
on that straight roast.
He's already on his way to
I want to say this, though, to Greg's point, because, Sam, if this had been a Florida team that was still playing under the same coach, they're not worried about losing their spots. They have nothing to play for here, right? And I would totally agree with you. But with a new coach coming in that's bringing in his guys, his recruits, you play this game and you don't show up, you just put a horrible taste in his mouth. I bet those Florida guys played their ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I think Florida blows this game out.
Yeah.
I do not think it's close.
Just note for those who are watching, we literally just analyzed this game longer than actually anybody of us we watching this game. So, I mean, it's the truth.
Right.
Like, not one of us is going to be watching this freaking crap show of a game.
That's not
So.
true. Greg is a huge SEC fan. He loves
That's
the
not
big
happening.
blue.
That's
everybody.
Him
He
and Conrad
really
are gonna
is.
watch
It's just
this game together.
the stuff we talk about behind the scenes is, man,
Jim went to
I'm
UF.
really going to poke these SEC guys this week. Watch me.
Oh, Jim went to
Mhm,
Louisiana,
mhm.
man. Just so you know, Jim, I think we have a. No, we didn't have a sweep, but a lot of us. I picked Louisiana. I think actually I was the only one who picked Louisiana in that Marshall Louisiana game. These little sinners right here picked Marshall. But anyway, so I'm with you, Jim. Go UL. All right, Memphis. This is actually a pretty fun game to watch. Memphis and Hawaii. Memphis, again, came out pretty well, beat Mississippi State, guys, on a fluke, ridiculous, awful called play about a punt return. Yeah, remember that punt return? That was just wasn't it was
A horrible call play. Like,
it was the worst college football called play I think I've ever seen. But Memphis versus Hawaii, and guys, look, it's the Hawaii Bowl at Hawaii. Bad things happen for teams that go to Hawaii. I'm just saying, bad things happen.
Yes, they do.
And I'm just going to take the Rainbows. We're going Hawaii.
I'm going Rainbow Warriors here too.
God, man, you both knew the team name. I'm so upset by that because I was like, ooh, I wonder if they know this one. But you guys do. And
we're not.
We're going the Manti Te'os here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're taking that.
Yep.
Moco
exactly.
Locos all around.
100%. What's that? What's that dance that they do? The haka? The
haka? I think
it's
it's or some version of the haka.
Yeah. All right. Ball State and Georgia State. I kind of like this bowl game. It's in Montgomery, Alabama, the Camellia Bowl. I do like this game. I'm very interested because I think this is going to be an over game regardless. I think this is going to be like 85 points.
Okay.
Yep, I think it's going to be a huge game here.
And who are you taking?
I'm taking Georgia State.
I'll go with Georgia State too. It's just because Georgia State has a better record. I can tell you almost nothing about either one of these teams.
Is Ball State the Cardinals?
They are the Cardinals, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm an Astros fan. The Cardinals were stealing data from us. I hate the Cardinals. So, yeah, I guess I'm going Georgia State, man. I mean, I'm not stretching here at all. It's Georgia State.
As I say, that sounds like a very reasonable pick there,
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
100%.
That's all my picks.
We got Daniel. We got Daniel there too. All of us on Georgia State.
On my reasoning.
One of my favorite teams right here, guys, is Nevada. I think Nevada's quarterback is going to be one of the better picks in the NFL draft this year if he comes out. I think he's coming out. But they have a really solid quarterback. This is a quick, clean bowl in Detroit, Michigan. Western Michigan versus Nevada. This is obviously a home game for Western Michigan, so to speak. But, guys, I like Nevada in this game. I like this team. I really, really do.
I think this Nevada team has I mean, they're never going to be a great team. They're never going to be a team that we're talking about playing a New Year's Day bowl or anything like that. But they're going to play in some of these earlier bowls, and they've put on some great games. I'm going to go with Nevada there too, just because I think Nevada's got a little bit better NFL talent. Not that they're going to have a lot, but more than what Western Michigan would.
Cool.
Nevada is insane at recruiting good quarterbacks. However you feel about Colin Kaepernick,
he went to Nevada. Yep.
He went to Nevada.
Yep.
They pick really, really talented quarterbacks. They get them to come to their school. I don't know how, but we're going Nevada. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a Nevada sweep.
Including
Daniel there. So that's good stuff. East Carolina, Boston College. It's gonna be a pretty decent game, man. It's in Maryland. It's the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland. By the way, if you've never been in that area, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But East Carolina and Boston College. Sam, let's go ahead and start with you, bro.
I'm going to take my Boston College hatred and pick East Carolina.
Fair enough. Blake?
Boston College has no real love for I just don't get it. Like Boston College is one of those weird polarizing schools, right? You either love them or hate them, and I kind of hate them. So I'm going East Carolina, man. I can't can't get behind it.
So from 2010 to 2019, which school in college had the most NFL talent from that time?
East Carolina.
Eastern Carolina. It's not close.
East Carolina. I'm talking about every team, including Alabama, including all of them. East Carolina has the most NFL playing players in the NFL that stayed that long in that time frame than any other team in college. I'm going East Carolina.
Yep.
East Carolina. Yep.
Sorry, Daniel, you're on the outs on this one.
Yeah, you and Doug Flutie can enjoy this one together.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
Flutie Flakes.
I'm dropping bombs. All right. Great game here, guys. Great freaking game. And I guarantee you Daniel's going to pick Auburn, but he went to Auburn. He said that 3 times.
Yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama Bowl. Here we go. Houston versus Auburn. Blake, we already know who you're going to be picking. You know what I mean?
My mom and my granddad are both University of Houston graduates. Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler went to Houston. I mean, it's a landslide for Houston. It's not close. The quality of athletes they get at U of H versus Auburn, not close.
This is one of those games of
That's a little biased.
Auburn is going to be they want their season. Their season's over. They had Alabama beat, but let Alabama win that game, and so here they are playing on December 28th at noon o'clock, and they don't even get to travel anywhere cool. They're staying in their own state. So there's a lot of things that's and this is when that Houston team has got something to play. And the Bo Nix thing there too, Daniel. Thanks.
And their running back Tank, man. It's Tank Williams, right?
So
is that his name?
You take a team like Houston and Alabama. If there were 100 lifetimes, Auburn would not schedule Houston. So this is when Houston gets to go and put the spurs to Auburn. I'm going with Houston here too.
Yeah, anytime that you have a game like this, man, I think you look at the better quarterback, and be honest with you, I think the better coach. And Dana Holgorsen is the coach of Houston. I think he's.
Wait, can I change my pick then? No,
he's a former West Virginia. He's a former West Virginia.
He did not get a lot of love his time in West Virginia.
No, but I mean, with all that being said, I think his offense is innovative and dynamic. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah,
Houston. Yep. All right. I think that's a Houston sweep, right?
For us, Daniel, for some reason, picked Auburn. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. All right.
I don't know.
Someone's always got to be wrong, Daniel.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Here's another one that this game would have been great like 3 years ago, Louisville and Air Force. But this game, I think it's kind of disappointing. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, Louisville and Air Force. I'll go ahead and start. I'm going Air Force. No question. Air Force all the way.
Yeah, I do too. Air Force won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy there, I believe. And Louisville, mediocre in a poor conference. So Air Force for sure.
Mr. Olivier, I have cousins that went to Auburn, so I get it. It's obnoxious. I don't know. But I live in Texas, man. I live next to Cowboys fans. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, when somebody says War Eagle, I go, what color is that spinnerbait?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I care about.
Is that Double Willow? Nice.
Is that Double Willow?
Yeah. Man,
what?
I can't get behind the Cardinal thing, so we're going Air Force.
Yeah. That's when you're picking this many bowl games, you don't need any more logic than I'm not picking a Cardinal.
Hey, listen.
Okay,
man,
well, when I win the bowl pick'ems, like just understand, like there's a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang it, he picked all the Texas schools and against every Cardinal. Man,
I can't tell you how many times women will pick and beat the tar out of like guys who know football because they love their colors or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it just happens. Who cares?
Yep. Right.
You need a nice mix. You need a nice mix of stats and personal. Get that out of my face. Yeah.
The Holiday Bowl, guys. We're getting to some serious bowls now, man. Holiday Bowl, UCLA and North Carolina State. Chip Kelly versus a very good North Carolina State team. By the way, guys, did you guys hear the rumor that Chip Kelly was vetted again for Oregon?
Yes. Yeah. I heard something about that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be, man? He crushed it there.
Oh, he absolutely did. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be like a homecoming thing. Blake, who are you going to go here?
Man, this one's actually one of the tougher games for me. I really like what Chip Kelly does in college football. In pro football, I just don't. He's Urban Meyer to me. But Chip Kelly kind of chokes big games. And I see NC State kind of winning this. I don't know, man. I got NC State.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, this one is really tough. The Holiday Bowl is another one of those big deal bowls. When if you go back to like the late '80s, you're like, why is there a Holiday Bowl? But look how long this thing has stuck around. So this has got some cachet with it too. NC State traveling across country. We've got two fair teams, and I think UCLA's athletes are just better than what NC State's gonna be able to bring in.
Okay.
I'll go with UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, man. But I'm going to NC State, man. I mean, I don't think the travel is going to be a big deal. They're going to get there in plenty of time, acclimate
Agreed.
to the 3-hour difference and stuff like that, man. It's Southern California, 72 degrees, always sunny, man. Hey, it's perfect football weather. I'm going NC State all the way. I just think NC State's just a better football team. All right,
Autozone. When you talk about the head coach difference, man, Chip Kelly just does not seem to manage these big games well.
Yeah, I mean, I think his time's passed. By the way, I mean, I think he was good, but people figured him out. All right, AutoZone Liberty Bowl, man. This is out of Memphis, Tennessee. Texas Tech versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State had a good thing going, during the season, and again, they just had some tough losses there, man, against Ole Miss and against Memphis, and they just. They didn't show well. I think they have a great team. They have a guy by the name of Will. What's his name? Their quarterback, Will somebody or another. Anyway, he broke all the school records, man. He broke all the school records. Just absolutely had an unbelievable season. And let's see.
Greg, I was going to say, if you're going this long and you haven't talked about the main storyline, which is this is Mike Leach versus old school, right?
That's what I was getting ready to say. But yeah, I was trying to pull out Mike Leach's name, but Mike Leach is now the head coach there. But you're right, against old school Texas Tech. And by the way, Texas Tech, what happened to them? What happened to their football program, dude?
Yeah, they were on fire there for a few years, and
when they beat Texas and all this other stuff, man.
Yeah, but they just this isn't the Texas Tech team that you remember from a handful of years back, and this is one of the times where the SEC kind of has something to play for here. They're playing. This is SEC versus Big 12, so this team has to show up to save some SEC face. Over some of these teams are playing in some of the lower bowl games. It's going to be Mississippi State here. This is going to be a good, fun game to watch too, though.
Yeah, Will Rogers is quarterback. That's what I'm talking about.
This is not even a save face game for the SEC. This is a Mike Leach angry revenge because he did not leave Texas Tech. They
fired him.
They fired him because he put whatever the ESPN guy's name, son, in a closet and yelled at him or something. So Mississippi State, I think Leach has these boys ready to play. Because I bet he is taking it real personally. I actually met Mike Leach in an airport.
Nice.
Super crazy guy, just like you'd think.
Yeah.
So, I bet he is amped up for this game, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you got Mississippi State. Sam, you got Mississippi State as well?
Yeah, I'm going Mississippi State there too, right?
I think we have a sweep, guys. Yeah, I think so. All right. Minnesota versus West Virginia. Sam, let's start with you, buddy.
You're asking me.
I'm asking you.
Why are you asking me? I've known you since sixth grade.
Right,
why are you asking?
Go first, man. Go first.
No, this was not a great West Virginia team. I think if they could have stolen that game against Oklahoma early season, it could have played out different. not a great West Virginia team, and West Virginia historically in bowl games is not great. A little bit better as of late, and 10-15 start on a weeknight for a game in Phoenix for West Virginia fans. This one hurts. And Minnesota is not a bad team. I think Minnesota's a pretty good team, but but my heart is 100% with West Virginia.
Okay.
I need to start seeing Jim Livier's picks in the chat. He keeps commenting on like things about the game, but not
bring the picks,
then,
man. Bring the picks, man. Absolutely.
2, West Virginia is historically crazy soft on defense, and if there is a team that is not soft in their physicality and running the ball, it's Minnesota. I have Minnesota in this one.
Yeah, I've got Minnesota too.
I don't even think it's close. West Virginia, man, they've always been like kind of explosive, really fast, quick team. I just think that plays against them. That it's a bad matchup for West Virginia.
If West Virginia scores 14 points, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, you might be right. I like I said, this has not been the best West Virginia team, even in over some of their bad teams the last handful of years.
Yeah,
it's an in between thing. There's a whole lot going on with West Virginia, and a whole lot going on with West Virginia fans. I'll bring it up and give my thoughts on this, a future show. But it's just a bummer that, Blake, you're from Texas. You've got 30 schools to root for in Texas. Greg, there is no good college football played in Virginia. Never has been, never will be. So that's why you're a Florida State fan.
Hey, I'm not denying these allegations.
Yes. But it's college football is West Virginia in the state of West Virginia, even more so than the NFL. You don't see
Michael Vick is Virginia Tech, by the way.
but you got to remember. I think Florida State beat Virginia Tech in the national championship.
They beat the tar out of them, Greg.
Yeah, we were at your house when that happened. You remember
that?
Did.
Yeah, it was me and there was we had a party. There was about a dozen people there, and there were 2 people rooting for Florida State. It was me and Greg, and we had the best time that night. I loved it. It was great.
It was great. All right, we got Virginia SMU, guys. Virginia SMU. I'll be honest with you, Virginia, very disappointing season in a very weak ACC, and I think their coach the coach did not get fired. Their coach left abruptly. This is in Fenway in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, guys, can you imagine you get to a bowl game, now you got to go to Fenway in the wintertime to go play your bowl game? That sucks.
And the only reason you're playing in this bowl game is because of the insecurity of all Bostonians. They've got a pinstripe bowl at Yankee Stadium. We have to have a bowl game at Fenway Park. So
and we're going to bring in SMU from Texas, who is coming from warm weather to go play in Boston.
That's Texans headed to Boston.
Yeah, so for that reason, actually, I'm going to pick UVA. I'm picking UVA. I don't think SMU can even survive in that weather up there, man.
It's possible they freeze to death. Yeah, I'm gonna go with SMU is kind of one of those schools that I will root for here and there. But I'm gonna go with Virginia, but just because I want Virginia to get this new era started off on the right foot. I'd like to see a UVA team improve over what they've been the last dozen or so years.
Yep.
I think UVA wins this one. I don't think it's anything to do with improvement. I think it is literally you've scheduled the school furthest south you could pick for UVA. And if you are a Texan or a Southerner and you have been in cold weather, it is just hard to get your body going unless you're used to it.
It's miserable. Guys, let's go lightning round here. Let's go Virginia Tech, Maryland. Blake, go.
I got Virginia Tech.
Okay.
Can they both lose?
Yes, they can.
Okay, good. I'm going with both teams lose.
All right. I'm going to go Virginia Tech here just for sentimental things. I hate Maryland that much, man. Clemson, Iowa State, go.
Clemson.
Sam. Clemson.
Oh, man. Now I'm under so much pressure. Iowa State. I'll play contrarian.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oklahoma, Oregon, go.
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon for me as well. All right. North Carolina. I'm sorry. Oklahoma, Oregon, North Carolina, South Carolina.
How many times has North Carolina and South Carolina ever matched up?
Every
in college?
Every year.
They do play. I don't know why that one. Maybe it's just because the games are just such
This is
bad
lightning round,
teams
Sam.
every year.
Lightning round.
North Carolina.
Okay. I'm going North Carolina.
South Carolina. It's the cooler state.
Agreed. Better fishing too. Purdue, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Purdue.
I got Purdue. Purdue. Okay. Michigan State, Pittsburgh.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Michigan State for me as well. Wisconsin, Arizona State.
Wisconsin.
Me too.
Wisconsin.
Yep. These guys are commenting. Let me just go ahead and show up these picks here. All right. Let's see. Wake Forest, Texas A&M. It's a great game, guys. Great game.
Yeah. This is. Let me have Wake Forest here.
The team I hate the most in college football. I'm going to pick them to win. A&M.
Again, it's the SEC thing, man. You put up an SEC against an ACC school. I'm going to go SEC here. I got Texas A&M, and boy, Jimbo Fisher is really excited about his recruiting class. What not too excited about his class that he has this year. So, but anyway, Texas A&M. I got all right. Central Michigan, Boise State.
Boise State, blue turf.
Arizona
I'm
Bowl,
actually going to go Central Michigan.
This is the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl.
Yeah, I think Central Michigan takes it.
Okay, I got Boise State here, man. I got Boise State.
Are we really picking the Tony the Tiger Bowl next?
Yeah, we are going to pick the Tony the Tiger Bowl at El Paso, Texas. There's a lot of bowl games in Texas. Miami versus Washington State.
I'm
Miami.
going to hold my nose.
About either.
I'm going to hold my nose and take Miami there too.
Actually, I'm going to pick very confidently Washington State. I think Washington wipes Miami with the floor because of the chaos going on right now. Dude, they don't even have a head coach, man. I mean, Manny, whatever from Oregon just literally got there. I mean, they have nobody. So I'm gonna go Washington State. All right, guys, let's take a little time with this. All right, now we've got the playoffs start on December 31st, the first round of the playoffs. It's Alabama versus Cincinnati. We can argue about the rankings. We're not going to do about.
Wait, we should pick those last.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
we'll
let's do the playoffs last.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Penn State, Arkansas, good game here.
Another good game in another good bowl game at a good place to see a bowl game. I'm going with Arkansas. Penn State just really crapped the bed at the end of the season.
Yes, I agree.
Arkansas landslide blows them out.
I 100% agree with that. I got Arkansas big time over that.
Penn State they are the Oklahoma of the North. They are a bad team.
Great analogy.
Has a good record.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Great analogy there, dude.
Yep.
Iowa versus Kentucky. I love this Kentucky team, man. They just faded late. I'm actually going to go. I'm going Kentucky. I like their offense. Can Iowa score more than 10 points on these guys?
No, but Iowa can hold them to less than 10. Iowa is a mean team. They always are, man. Iowa just picks these. They literally go out and recruit, and they're like, fist fight. Fist fight your best friend. So. And they're like, I want that guy. Iowa is just mean.
Oklahoma drills in the living room.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Iowa is they're just always really tough team. And I keep saying how much this stuff matters. Where's it being played at?
Tampa, Florida.
In Orlando.
I hate the warm weather pick, but I'm still going Iowa.
Oh, wait, no, we're wrong. Yeah, Orlando.
Yeah. It's I got Kentucky. Okay, I'm the lone soldier here. I'm going Kentucky. All right. Notre Dame versus Oklahoma State, man.
Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oklahoma State here too.
Guys, I'm actually going to go Notre Dame. I think this team is fired the freak up about their new coach, man. I really do. I don't think they like Brian Kelly, but what I saw in terms of their new coach was their defensive coordinator. They are fired up. I think Notre Dame beats Oklahoma State.
I am so sick, just like how you guys are of SEC bias. I hate the Notre Dame bias, man. They are a bad team. They are not good.
Fair enough.
They have not been good. They never show up in the bowl games. Daniel Higgins said it. Like it literally every bowl game they get to be like, show us you're good. They get blown out by 30. I don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
the Big
fair
12
enough.
is trash, by the way. So,
oh man, you just yeah.
Well, they literally put them in the trash bowl. They took the worst team they could think of in the North, which is Notre Dame, and put them against the runner-up.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the bowl picks this year were absolutely awful. I mean, it's because you have you had to stuff the playoffs with the two SEC teams. But anyway, the other like consolation bowls do suck this year. Ohio State and Utah. This is going to be fun, guys. The Rose Bowl is going to be fun.
This is going to be a fun game. This is going to be a good game. And I mean, Ohio State is in the last decade plus one of the premier college football teams not named Alabama. But this Utah team, they just seem like
their Rose Bowl debut, by the way.
Yeah, and they've got it all to play for. The Utah may never make a Rose Bowl again. So I'm gonna go with Utah here because Ohio State lost their season when they lost to Michigan and didn't make the playoffs. This Rose Bowl, other than it being a Rose Bowl, means nothing to Ohio State.
This is Ohio State is gonna maul this game.
They should.
They are still playing for next year's preseason rankings. It is a college football thing exclusively. Ohio State will roll this game. I think. The quality of athletes is too great. I can't think of anybody really off the top of my head outside of that one Boise State team that made the miracle Statue of Liberty play that has come into one of these bowl games and taken out the big dogs. I don't see it, man.
Guys, here's the deal. A lot of these Ohio State players are still looking at NFL spots, right? This is going to be another opportunity to get on tape. There's two players that I'm looking at for Ohio State that has the opportunity to make from a second-round draft pick to a first-round draft pick, and that's Olave from the wide receiver, who I think should be a Chicago Bear with Justin Fields in the second-round pick, but he may jump up to the first round, and it's also their left tackle. I think those two guys, he's competing obviously with Alabama's left tackle, who is the top, I think he's a top 5 draft pick, but those two guys are auditioning for, I think, the NFL going second round to first round. I think those guys, are going to play their hearts out. I think the team itself, the defense, the secondary is awful, but I do like Ohio State in this game in the Rose Bowl. I think these players still have a lot to prove, and it is the Rose Bowl, guys. I mean, it's the Rose Bowl, and I'm going to go Ohio State.
That's yeah. This is the Rose Bowl. This is the granddaddy of them all. Yeah. But how many players do you hear? And we're getting to that part of the season where you start hearing what players are not going to play in their bowl game, so that they make sure that they're fresh and healthy for the NFL Combine. And college players care more about making the Combine healthy than making a good showing in their bowl game.
Football not this coach, Ohio State team, not this Ohio State team.
Yeah, and also
these guys
football coaches
talking about they are these borderline middle second round picks, high third round picks. Those guys are playing for something to prove, and they
putting
are
it on tape
positions.
Putting it on tape, and again, coaches don't care. Okay, the Combine's great, but the coaches want to see what's on tape. Okay, they want to see, that to me is a great. And I know that for a fact. You talk to coaches and scouts, they'll tell me, hey, he has all these great attributes, in shorts. Show me what's on tape. That's what I want to see. So anyway, that's how they get drafted, man. Baylor, Ole Miss, another okay game, man. I mean, this is going to be an okay game. Baylor and Ole Miss. Baylor, I mean, just finished really strong here, man. A lot of fun.
Yep.
I like what Baylor did to finish. I like what Baylor did to win the Big 12 championship. And you could say that the Big 12 is a bad conference, but I really think that Baylor and Oklahoma State were a lot better than Texas and Oklahoma over the entirety of the season, and especially down there at the end. And what the things I saw with Baylor, that coach has his team's trust. They'll follow him into fire. Baylor may not win this game. I'm going to go with Baylor, but you keep an eye out on Baylor here in the next couple of years in the national championship picture.
So I don't know what's happening with Baylor. They build this super team. The coach and a bunch of players and the program itself basically gets the death penalty, right? They had all these allegations, horrible stuff going on over there. And now they're winning the Big 12 again. Like, I don't know how much they're paying players, but I feel like we're ready for a scandal here again.
Well, the basketball team just won the championship last year, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was
happening.
A death penalty for them. I don't even think they lost that many scholarships.
It wasn't a true death penalty, but
yeah. But even so, I mean, they still had a wonderful season, man. I mean, their 11-2 record.
Greg, that's the point I'm saying is that after everything this program went
perseverance, man,
they're just good again. And I don't understand how that happens, but I really do stand by my
Daniel dropping shots right there.
That the Big 12 is trash. I'm not kidding. Oklahoma, a team that people were like, well, the Big 12 is quality because of that. They had 6-7 close games to like Tulane.
Yeah.
Like Iowa State.
Let's be honest. The Big 12 is
flag.
The Big 12 is flag football, dude. It's flag football.
It is horrible. Vandy would have won the Big 12 this year. I don't necessarily disagree with that, man. So this game, while it will be a super entertaining bowl game to watch, I highly recommend watching because I think there will be a ton of points scored. If Baylor wins it, that would be disgusting. I don't see it. I cannot see Baylor winning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Ole Miss here, man. I mean, look, I just don't see again. Like, I think SEC proves supreme again. You know what I mean?
Ole Miss is a tougher team, faster team.
Absolutely.
They may not get stops only 40% of the time, but Baylor is going to only get stops 15% of the time. So Ole Miss wins it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Ole Miss is.
There you go. Daniel said it best. That's Ole Miss's losses. Is that better than Baylor's? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And look, Lane Kiffin does the craziest stuff in bowl games, man. If you ever watch him coach football in bowl games, he just throws everything at you, man. I mean, he's ruthless when it comes to bowl games. So I like Ole Miss. They're going to come out. They're going to come out firing. All right, guys, let's get back to the playoffs here, man. Alabama and Cincinnati. I mean, guys, let's just be honest, man. Is anybody going to pick Cincinnati here? Not a chance, right?
The only reason you would pick Cincinnati is to say because I want to pick Cincinnati because I don't want Alabama getting another shot at the national championship. Those are the only. There's no logical, rational anything to give Cincinnati the shot to win this over Alabama.
Do you guys agree with Lee Corso? Lee Corso was furious that Cincinnati made it into the playoffs. He says no chance a G5 team, or other than a G5 team, should be in this. Okay, he was furious about that, and he's like, they do not belong. They should have their own playoffs. It's your FBS or your FCS. This is they're an FBS school, and so they get the chance to make it there. The only other team that has any room to make any argument that they should be in this 14 playoff is Notre Dame, and Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, everything Sam just said tells you exactly the problem with having a 14 playoff, right? When we are having to pick hairs between an undefeated Cincinnati team that beat a big conference team in Notre Dame who played a a horrible schedule, by the way. Notre Dame is not good. Why are we considering them even a top 5 team? Like, people are talking about SEC bias, and like that's fine. But Notre Dame is a bad program, man. They are not good. Oklahoma's not good. There's so many teams right now that are not good. So I cannot wait till we go to 8 teams so that we stop having to have this conversation. But I'm glad Cincinnati's in it, man. They are a team that's going to come in there and play their guts out. Whether you think they're good, bad, or
I don't
indifferent,
want to see another Notre Dame like we had with Notre Dame and Alabama, right? Everybody's pumping up this Notre Dame Alabama game, and Alabama literally. I mean, it was like what 30-0 at half. I mean, it was embarrassing.
I've seen varsity versus JV or junior high scrimmages that might have been closer than that game, Greg. I mean, to be honest, that was the Alabama just. That was a disgusting game to watch. It felt like watching an NFL team play a high school team.
I felt dirty.
Was disgusting.
I mean, you're exactly right, man. I mean, here's the deal. I think Alabama. I mean, this is not Nick Saban's best team he's ever coached. I mean, honestly,
not close.
But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Nick Saban has done a wonderful job with the talent he's got because this is not supreme talent he's had. But I'll say this. If Alabama doesn't win by 35 in this game, it's a disappointment. I think they're going to absolutely destroy Cincinnati here.
I do want to give the committee at least this credit because I, as a college football fan, have been asking for it. And so this is like a huge problem with sports is that we as fans are like, give us this. And they give us this and we're like, boo. Like it's crazy. So they keep putting Notre Dame in this game, right? And we're all like, Notre Dame is disgusting. They're getting blown out. You're not putting in this UCF team. You're not putting in this Boise State team. You're not putting in this Cincinnati team. They finally put the second-tier team in. We all got what we asked for, and now people are complaining about it. We asked for this, man.
So let me ask you the flip side of this.
We asked for it.
Let me ask you the flip side of this. If Cincinnati beats Alabama by any miracle, is this the greatest underdog victory in sports history?
No, I'm not gonna put them up there in that huge, amazing underdog category, because they're undefeated. Did they play as tough of a schedule as Alabama, as just other teams I'm seeing here on the screen, as Miami, as Baylor, as Ole Miss? No, they didn't. But you can only play who's on your schedule. And I said this before. I said this a couple of weeks ago. Schools don't want to put Cincinnati on their schedules. Just like they're not going to want to for a couple of years. This happened with Boise. This happened with Central Florida, South Florida. I think they've each had some decent teams over the last decade or so. So they're not. They don't get their chance to prove themselves. And the Big Ten isn't going to expand and pull in Cincinnati, or the Big 12 isn't. Well, I think the Big 12 is a little bit of talk of the Big 12 getting Cincinnati. So if you're only going to say you have the football haves and have-nots, but when the have-nots prove that they belong, you can't curse them for being there.
Yeah, but I mean, like we just said, like Notre Dame is terrible, okay? And we're holding up Cincinnati. They beat Notre Dame. They have a 12-0 schedule. They didn't really play anybody is what we're saying. I mean, they don't belong on the same field, I don't think, as this team. But if Cincinnati, by a freaking chance, and Luke Fickell pulls out a rabbit out of his hat and beats Alabama, Daniel said App State over Michigan at the Big House was the biggest upset ever in sports history. I would have to say this is a bigger deal because this is a lot more at stake here. And
by the way, where is Michigan in this bowl series? Did we just not pay? Oh, sorry.
No,
wait. We haven't got there yet. We're spending our time.
What I'm saying is, I think that this supersedes the Appalachian State and Michigan game, because you got to remember Appalachian State was in the FBS 2 at that time. They actually won that tournament. They won that championship.
They did. Yeah.
I want to say this, Greg, to piggyback kind of what you're talking about. This game feels so heavy because it has been such a point of contention of, do we put in a 12-1, 10-1, 11-1, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, or do we give these UCFs, Boise's, Cincinnati's the chance to run at the big dogs when they're undefeated?
Right.
Cincinnati is playing for all of that. If they go out and win this game, everyone can say, "We told you so." UCF is a ghost champion, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they go into this game and they get blown out by 45, that tier of team will never be considered for this top four.
No, I 100% agree with you. Hey,
Never.
before we get that, let's go ahead. I'm sorry, I skipped a game. Kansas State and LSU. Let's just talk about that real quick. At the Texas Bowl.
LSU. Speed round. LSU.
Yeah, LSU.
I have Kansas State. I have Kansas State.
No shot.
100% have Kansas State.
You're taking a Big 12 over an SEC.
I actually am.
You're taking this Big 12 Kansas State team.
LSU's terrible. I mean, it's not even debatable. LSU was so bad this year.
Kansas State is terrible.
No, listen, I will take Kansas State. Anybody want to bet me?
It's two terrible teams.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
No, there's nothing.
I mean,
There's
if you're going to hang your head on LSU,
no game that we have picked do I feel good enough about that I'd be going and putting money on. I don't think.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, give me Kansas
I'll
State.
put money on that one.
What's that?
LSU, Kansas State. You want State?
I'll take State.
I'll take L State.
Box of golf balls.
State, I'll take L State.
Box of golf balls.
Ooh, pricey. I like it. I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in.
It's got it's not only a box of golf balls. It's got to be Pro V1s, Titleist.
Ooh, I can absolutely go out to my local course and collect those out of the pond and put them in a box and send them to you. No problem. No problem.
No, the ones that say practice. All right, box of golf balls. We'll settle that up. All right.
You said Pro V1, yeah.
All right. Michigan. All right, let's get to this game, guys. All right, so I assume everybody's taking Alabama, right? Is that true?
Yeah. I don't want Alabama to win. I want Cincinnati to win.
I want chaos. I would love to see Cincinnati pull the upset.
Right.
Because here's the deal. I think this FBS committee deserves chaos. Absolute freaking chaos. But that's just too much on Cincinnati. Put that pressure on.
Right.
But,
I mean, it's exactly what I said. If Cincinnati does it, it is the biggest deal.
Huge deal.
I'm agreeing with Greg. It may not be the biggest college football upset all time.
Yeah.
It is the most impactful college football upset.
I think the record books will look back at that game and saying, this is where the ice was broken.
I don't know that I don't know where NCAA's talks are in expanding into an 8-team playoff. I know I've heard that there's talks they want to do it, but if Cincinnati beats Alabama, it will absolutely happen because then you can put a lower tier team like a Cincinnati in there, but give lots of teams a chance to knock them out before they could even sniff a national championship.
Yeah. But again, I think we're dreaming, guys. It's like hitting this mega parlay. It's not going to happen. No, Alabama is going to.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
The thing we never touched on this whole conversation was Alabama just beat the snot out of Georgia.
Yeah,
they're going to beat the snot out of Cincinnati.
Exactly. All right. So now I think this game is the biggest game of all the bowl games.
It's the best game. It is the most
100%
fair, best two teams at that level. I don't really even care about any other game we talked about to watch, except this is one like when it's on, I will not do anything else but watch.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to turn my phone off. I'm going to eyes on this game because this game is what I've been arguing all year long about the SEC bias and how the Big Ten is and how I said that the Big Ten was bigger. It was better than the SEC as a whole. Jeremy Baker disagrees with me. I completely understand that. We actually had a really good conversation on this, and I thought Michigan should have been the top team. Michigan at Georgia. My only concern, guys, is Michigan is playing in Miami, okay? And we have seen this time and time again. Michigan or northern teams coming down to a hot climate like Miami in recent Orange Bowl games and all this other stuff. They have crapped the bed. They just can't get used to it. We saw that recently with the pro teams like NFL teams like the Ravens going down to the Miami Dolphins. And even Lamar Jackson said after the game was over, They lost. They got their butts kicked on Thursday night. They just could not take the humidity and the heat and everything else. It's just something else. It takes a while to get used to, right? It's not like going out west or anything like that. It's just it takes a while to get climately used to this.
No, it's just like the Texas team going up north. I mean, it's why I couldn't pick SMU earlier.
That's exactly right. It's just the opposite here. Now, if Jim Harbaugh was smart, after finals are over, they take the kids down to Miami immediately and start practicing every single day. You know what I mean? And trying to get used to it. But I don't know if they're going to do that. But Michigan and Georgia, guys, man, I've got Michigan. I cannot go against what I said. I think the Big Ten was better. Georgia was like Sam and I talked about. They were a fluke team. Their defense was fluky. All these different records that they were breaking. I kept on saying, guys, they haven't played anybody. Their best offense that they've played was Tennessee. Alabama exposed them like none other. Michigan will control the ball. They can match up mano a mano on the beast defensive line that Georgia has, and I think they can beat them. I really do.
Yeah. When we were talking about that, and I said that Alabama laid out the game plan for beating Georgia and just throw the ball, and everybody's like, "Well, Michigan can't throw the ball. You don't have to be able to. You don't have to have the best skill and ability at it when you're throwing against that poor of a secondary that Georgia was. They just crushed their opponents all season long because they were playing these poor teams from the SEC East. This Michigan team has run the gauntlet. Michigan could be undefeated. That Michigan State game was a very, very close game, a very close road game that they lost to an in-state rival. This is a tough Michigan team, and they've accomplished everything that they've had to this season. And now here's their chance. This game is going to be great. And I'll tell you one other thing about this game. Look at the date and the start time of this game.
Yeah, 7:30 prime time. I mean, perfect.
We will not know who is playing for the national championship this year.
You're right. Yeah, it could go all night.
This game will not end until next year. And I want
You're right.
I like Michigan. I'm a bigger Michigan fan than I am a Georgia fan. Georgia started growing me a little bit, but if Georgia wins this, we're looking at Georgia, Alabama, an SEC all SEC final, and that's terrible. That's terrible for fans. That's terrible for the sport. So I think Michigan is going to just lay a gutsy performance out there and squeak this game by Georgia here next year.
This matchup, no matter what you think the outcome is an SEC win, because like Sam just said, if Michigan pulls this out, I think it takes everything they got in the tank to do it. And I think they come out flat versus Alabama and they take an ass whooping. And I'm not really even sure they get by Georgia in this game. If we gave these teams overall rankings, right, I'd probably put Georgia at like 89. I'd put Michigan at like 87. With Michigan having like very, very high skill gap players at like their defensive tackle, their tight end, these very impactful positions, but not quite as impactful. But I give Georgia the edge on like quarterback, stuff like that. And I just talked about earlier how much I think quarterback matters in these matchups. And Greg talked about how much he thinks coaches matters in these matchups. And like, I'm not a Harbaugh believer, man. It took him 11 years, 10 years to beat Ohio State?
8 years. He was 1 and 7. He's 1 and 7. Yeah. But
so he's 1 and 7.
Yeah.
I just don't think Harbaugh goes down. And if you want to get in a grinder match with Georgia, I don't think he out Georgia's what Georgia does best.
Oh, Daniel's
Sam talks about do what?
Daniel's dropping bombs on you, dude.
I mean, Daniel, that's fine. Like you can say what you want. You went to Auburn, man. I don't know what to tell you. So like
they don't really educate
when like they're in
Alabama,
these grinder match, man.
Look,
Which Michigan wants to do, and by the way, Michigan lost to a Michigan State team, which got absolutely annihilated by Ohio State. So Sam was talking about like the blueprint to beat Georgia, which is throw the ball, get your playmakers in space. What about that sounds like Michigan? Or Daniel, did you just watch the highlights? That's what I like. I mean, if you've watched Michigan play, that's not their game. They don't put playmakers in space and let them like do their deal.
I agree that's not Michigan's game, but I think that you can make that your game. And that's what I'm telling Michigan to do, is go and make that your game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's two players, guys, I'm watching this game. Again, I know we're spending a lot of time on this game. I think, again, this is the game I want to watch.
It's the game, man.
Exactly. Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, absolutely put on a show, even in a losing effort for the Georgia Bulldogs against Alabama. But Bowers showed out. I think tight ends in college football are starting to show their worth like they do in the NFL. A lot of coaches, a lot of these college programs are starting to come a little bit more closer to the NFL style to get these guys. But the tight end usage in the college football has shown up. Bowers has been unbelievable. Aiden Hutchinson.
Just what Daniel said was exactly what I just said. I guess he too watches the ESPN highlights.
And then Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, who's a defensive end from Michigan. I think he's the number one draft pick in the NFL this year. This kid, if he could just get into the Georgia backfield, he single-handedly could win the game for Michigan. I mean, I'm dead serious.
100%.
If Aiden Hutchinson has the game that he has, that he's been doing all year, but more importantly, what he showed here in the last couple of games on their winning streaks, if Aiden Hutchinson is a destroyer, like he can be, like a TJ Watt or something like that showed up in those games, he could single-handedly win the game for Michigan. Because if you hold Georgia to, let's say, 17 points, Michigan wins this game, guys.
But that's kind of, Greg, what I was talking about is like Michigan has these great strengths. What are you talking about? The tight end? This comes
for
down
Georgia,
to
for Georgia. Yeah. They're tight end for Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, Ash is a great player, too.
I was like, I think for Michigan, that's their strength, too, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is going to be
their passing game.
Again, I think the tight ends play a very important role, but I think Bowers is going to be huge for Georgia. Huge.
When Georgia is at their best is when their defensive line dominates, and it's the same for Michigan, man. And what I was trying to say earlier was, like, if this gets in a grinder match, who would y'all give the edge to? If this becomes a 10-13 game, beat down, just absolute run the ball 3 out of, just run
I'd
the
have
ball
to give the edge to Georgia
middle.
if it's going to be one of those grinders. I have to give the edge to Georgia. If it's a meat
grinder,
yeah. They've already done that.
Georgia.
I do. They've already done that against Clemson. You know what I mean? They had that first game of the year. That was a kind of meat grinder game. Not a single offensive touchdown was scored. Remember that? It was a punt. Yep. It was a fumble return for the touchdown for Georgia that won that game. But I think Michigan wins, and I think it's going to be a 24-17 game, guys. I really do. I just think it's going to be like that.
I got Georgia 17-13. I think it turns into a meat grinder. I've seen both offenses, and I respect it. I did not see that Georgia could score 24 points. And Michigan, if they don't just start rolling a team, I've not seen that they can do it either, man. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
This is definitely going to be a close game, and I think that, like I said, Michigan is going to use everything that they have. They're going to lay every ounce of it out there, and they will be absolutely wiped out to face Alabama a week later. And Alabama is going to roll right over them too. But I think Michigan's going to squeak this one out like a 2017. It's going to be heck. You could even see this one go a couple overtimes.
Yeah, no. Guys, real quick update on the NFL game. Rams lead the Cardinals 10-3. It is middle second quarter, and the Cardinals just threw a deep pass, 41 yards to Christian Kirk. So now they're now in the red zone. So it looks like it's to be a fun game to watch there, man. So, honestly, guys, we are well over our schedule. We were going to talk a little NFL. Actually, we're going to come back, guys. If you want to come back on Thursday, we're going to kind of talk a little bit of NFL and all stuff.
Yeah,
it'd be good. Come back on the show here on Thursday. I thought this was great. I really wanted to tackle the bowl games because it starts Saturday. So actually, it starts the 19th. So we're going to. I really think it was important we had this on the show tonight. Love the interaction. Love the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the Motion Sports YouTube channel. Like and follow this Facebook. You do everything you can to help us out.
I have got to figure out how to get notifications when the videos go up there on
YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
You just hit the bell.
Yeah, just hit the bell.
Okay, all right. I'll find that.
Right, Blake,
I caught yours Friday, and it was really good. But all the fishing talk that you guys do, and Greg watching your show last night, with the KFL team from Connecticut, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Watching that and hearing all this fishing talk and everything reminds me how horrible I am as a fisherman. I'm like I love it. It is the most fun thing in the world. I swear to God. I just wish I was better at it. And I'm sure it just takes time and practice. But I envy you guys for how good you are at it. But I'll be out fishing next year. I'm not putting any money on anything, but I can drown worms with the best of them.
Well, Greg and I aren't good at fishing, but we like to talk about it.
We love talking.
Daniel
fishing.
throwing a little shade at me here. Don't forget to update my ESPN Plus. Daniel, man, dude, I hear you. I get it.
Wow.
You keep watching CBS Sports and your CNN News. And,
yeah.
Dude, we got you, man. I understand.
We'll even sprinkle a little
Network.com
info to help you out.
This ESPN Plus thing, this has to come to an end sometime, somewhere. How do you not have ESPN Plus? I've got it from I can get it as a part of my Hulu subscription because I'm a sane person and I don't subscribe to cable TV. It comes with Hulu. If you have Disney Plus, Daniel, if you have kids, your kids are going to want Disney Plus. Guess what? ESPN Plus comes with that. Verizon Wireless. If you have Verizon Wireless, it is free as a part of your unlimited plan. Go figure out how to do it.
He says, I got it.
Everybody's giving it away.
He has it, man.
Blake gave him his pass. Okay.
Yeah.
But for everyone else complaining, and Friday night, everybody's complaining about, oh, man, I can't see the Caps-Penguins game because on ESPN Plus. Buy ESPN Plus. It's not that hard. It's $5. Cancel Netflix because everyone in the world knows there's nothing good on Netflix, so at least you can watch a little bit of sports.
No, the amazing thing about all this is, and I'm the best part is Daniel keep going with it. We were arguing the same point, but Daniel decided to hit me with that shot. But then the comment after was echoing what I was saying. He's like, "Yeah, keep going on with your ESPN, dude." Well, yeah. I guess, man, if we're on the same page, then we're both watching the same ESPN.
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, we're going to get out of here, man. It's all good, man. Come back Thursday night. We're going to have a good time. We're talking about the NFL.
We'll cover this week and set up next week.
Yeah, Daniel, thanks for hanging out with Jim.
Daniel, you were a blast, man.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yep. We'll see you guys come later this week. Take care. Bye.
Daniel MVP, baby.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.